So, hi, good morning, guys. If someone could confirm me if I'm audible. This is on recorded, so that yes, that would be recorded, but it would be shared in a later stage after I get that like after the team tells me to share it with you guys. Then only I will share it. Else, it would be only be recorded as of now. So let's see. I'm considering I'm audible. Okay. One more thing, do not consider it to be the live sessions or something else where the person leading the session will just be talking and will be like sharing out the contents. But what I want you guys to do is like unmute yourself and just talk. If you are having any doubt, if you are having any query, if you want to add something to whatever that I am saying, just go ahead. Nothing to worry about. Just feel to be a open session for this one. Like so, as you have, I guess everyone is here. Okay, so let's see. So, as you have seen, we will be having sessions from today till what was the date? Check. Okay, so the duration that we got is till October 14th, right? But we won't be spending all the days or using all the days. Rather, we will be using like what about 5 or 6 sessions. So 5 or 6 sessions as in like there may or may not be have some gaps between the days, and how it will be arranged is something like as if you, as you, I'm considering you all have done your MAD1 projects, right? Acha, before we proceed any further, can you can anybody raise their hands if they haven't completed their MAD1 project? No? Sure, that's nice. So, considering everyone has completed their MAD1 project, so for our MAD2, how the bootcamp will look like is like consider this. We will be separating out both the back end and the front end, right? So, what I will do is, firstly, out of the 5 or 6 sessions, what we'll be doing is we'll be dedicating each session for each portion of the project. It could be something like the first two are for the back end, the next two are for the front end, and the last one or the last two could be the rest of the features that we have to build. That would be the daily reminders, like the back end jobs, caching, and other stuff, right? So this is how our bootcamp will look like. Again, one more thing, it I'm not sure if you have attended any more bootcamp sessions with other mentor or not, but consider this to be a bit kind of generic way. Like I like to proceed with the generic manner, right? So it would be like mostly like I will be having a guiding or you can say a older problem statements that we will consider, but I would keep my project to be mostly as generic as it could be. So consider this. Whatever that I code, you can code with me. You can use it in your project. But again, it would be totally be a generic thing. So using it won't be helping you like you cannot what I would say is like cannot retrofit it. Okay. So you have to build it by yourself. But one thing that I can say is whatever that I code, if you code with me, if you code along, or if you like at least put in some effort, you will be learning something, right? So that is what I have felt since like I'm doing the boot camp since 23, so it's like a long time. So this is what from the feedbacks that I got, and I have like updated way the best way that I have it. Okay. Next thing for today's session, one uh, the main thing is to going through the prompts, like the prompt statements, whatever those are, and we'll discuss those, and we'll keep it light for today's session. Right? Nothing more for today. And if you have anything to ask, please go forward. And before I do that,
Sir, can I ask a doubt?
of course, that is what I was saying. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Sir, I did my MAD project 2 or 3 sessions back, but
Mm-hmm.
I forgotten most of the things, sir. Is there a
Okay.
quick way to recap? Because I've not written down. I forgot the entire thing. That's my problem. So,
No worries, no worries. So, what we'll do is like we'll start off from the basics.
okay,
So, it would help you to catch up. Again, it would be for all, and I won't ask everyone to do it in such a way, but yes, it would. Like I would start off with a very basic MAD1 project. It would be a few 4 or 5 endpoints, and I would create a
okay.
MAD1 project, and on top of it, I would just change it to MAD2.
Okay. The other doubt is, sir, it is similar to MAD1, no, sir? We'll create the SQL, we'll create the database, we'll create the HTML files, then we'll add the additional view and the batch processing, etc. Right? Using Celery and Redis.
Yes, you can do it. But what I would say is like uh, it
My
won't be
question is in
totally
the
be
design itself, sir. That is the problem. Yeah. Okay.
no, it won't be it totally like it won't be the same. But what
Huh.
you can think of it is like you can reuse the features, but how you are implementing the features it would depend. Like consider this:
Huh.
your endpoints won't be same, right?
That is
If
correct.
the endpoints are not same, in
Huh.
that case you have to manage it in such a way that it could handle multiple features, as in, for example, if you are having one endpoint that is only be doing the get request, right? In case of an API, it would be like a overdo, right? So you can use that same endpoint for multiple
I got
purposes,
it, sir. See,
right?
in MAD one, what we did, we gave the endpoints directly, and then wrote it in Flask. Then that saved it
Hmm.
to the database. I mean, I'm telling it in a crude way, so that all
Okay.
the correct. In this case, we'll have the HTML. It will go, but instead of a endpoint, we'll have an API.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
But the
Yes.
backend portion will be the same. The API will save it inside the
Yeah, the
backend.
design will look same. Yeah, at
Okay.
least for the backend, it would look same, but it would be disconnected. As in, the backend was rendering out the pages. Now the backend won't do it.
Lot Rider. Okay, got
Yeah.
it, sir. Yeah, that was the yeah. Sorry if I
Okay.
made it confusing. I couldn't.
No. Total. It's totally fine. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
As Agnevesh was asking something like regarding the MAD2 project, if project is the V2 of MAD1 project, such as vehicle parking 2, like vehicle parking version 2, is it all right to reuse code in backend logic and HTML CSS when possible to do so? Of course, anyways, it's your app, you can reuse it. No worries to that. Again, there won't be so much use case to like, reuse. Again, you have to do it yourself. So, like, you can, again, as I was saying, you cannot retrofit your code. Okay, give me 1 second. I have to check one thing. I don't know what is it. So again, one more thing that I want to add over here is that if consider this, if you are done with your theory courses, it would be a very different thing whenever you are coming to your like project. Consider this. If you remember from your MAD2 course, it was like celery and casting. It was, I guess, taught in week 9 or 10, something around that, like in the last weeks. But again, if you are going, or if you are only considering it to be the knowledge based thing, then it is okay. Like it was, however, it was taught, it was okay. But whenever you are going to implement your salary code, be it the backend jobs or anything for the matter, it would take a hard lot of time from you. And why is that so? Because it is a kind of code which has n number of ways that you can implement. At least just to initialize it into your app, there are n number of ways. Okay, so it is a buggy thing that everyone, whenever they are doing it for the first time, they face that. Okay, and no one could say that yes, this is the right way and that is the wrong way. At least for salary, what I have seen, whenever I was doing my MAD2 project, it was like it took almost 3 days, exactly 3 days. And at that time, we didn't used to have AI, right? And I was using Stack Overflow and such similar websites, and it was somewhat, it was going through, it was passing through, and at the end, I was, of course, you're getting a bug. It lasted for 3 days, and then it was like, okay, it somehow it happened, and it worked. So why did I say it? Is because it's nothing with your theory course. The project is on a totally on another layer. So you have to learn. So no worries to that. If you have forgot every little thing, that's fine. We will do it uh, with the bootcamp. Okay, before we proceed any further, let me just share my screen, and just to do that, and just open up the documentation. Okay, as I will be changing my screen, so please, at least, like if you have anything to ask or if you want to stop me, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and speak. Okay. The code with it, any useful for person to the app? Uh, I won't say much. I won't say much, but one person that you can reuse, uh, that would be the database. Else, at least for the endpoints, and like consider this. I have an endpoint, right? That is totally built as a MAD1 wala version. Okay. So in consider this, in MAD1, what were we doing? We are using our backend to render out the pages, right? Now in MAD2 we cannot do it. First thing. Now as we cannot do it, we have to get another way to share the data. Right? Previously, what we were doing, like we were like, I don't have, or do I have? Yeah, I think I have. Okay, Acha, let's do it next day. So what I was saying is just visualize this. So I have an endpoint, right? And the endpoint is having some functionalities and stuff. But later in the later stage, what is the endpoint doing? That endpoint is, if it is getting a get request, then it's like rendering out a page. It could be like, it could be sharing out the data, or it could be sending out the data to the page to be populated. Else, it's a static page. So finally, whenever we are getting a get request, it is rendering out a page. That's fine. So it is similar to the MAD2 version. But over here, like at least for the get, I'm not saying to render out the page, but to share the data. Okay, in terms of like sharing the data. Now, in terms of a post request, consider this: whenever you are doing a post request with any endpoint, be it a single endpoint which is handling both get and post, else you have a different endpoint that is only be handling a post request. So what were we doing? We're just using, like, in a simple majority idea. So what people were doing is like they were using the HTML to, like, the HTML tag or form to send the data, right? And in the backend, we're like using that form. Now, in this case, in case of MAD2, we would be using, or we will be building REST APIs. So the REST APIs won't be rendering out endpoints and stuff. But one thing that you could think of is like how the flow of data is happening. You can use that idea. You cannot totally reuse it over here. Right? So that is like, again, it's a very vague thing that I said right now, but I could like help myself to like whenever I'm showing the code or whenever I'm coding, I could like give more idea or explanation whenever I'm with my VS code or something. As of now, consider it like reuse the ideas and stuff, but you cannot totally reuse it. Okay. If you have built it in that manner starting from your MAD1 project, in that case, it's a different say. But like, you cannot think is like I would start later on and I will just copy paste it and it will be done. No, that's not going to happen. That is for sure. Okay, let's see. So if you have gone through, we have some steps. But what is the screen not scrolling? Okay. So if you have gone through the documentation, you have to follow some things like the first thing that create a GitHub, or whenever you are like achieving a milestone of your own, add it, like push it to the GitHub repository and stuff. And whenever you are creating the GitHub repository, please be mindful to keep it private and add the app dev team to it, right? Again, it's not a very hard or not a very strict thing to follow for GitHub, but yes, that is recommended. So you guys should do it, right? And we'll be focusing majorly on MAD2. So we have two problem statements. One is vehicle parking app and hospital management app. So the thing that we'll do is like uh, check out both the problem statements. But before that, we have that milestone documentation. We can give it a look. So as you can see, they have created like a kind of milestones. As you can see that firstly, one should create a GitHub repository, then the database, then authentication, and then a dashboard, and they're saying like Python APIs and Vue.js UI and stuff. Right? It's okay, it's good. But one thing that I would say is like do not follow this totally, right? You might say like what you are seeing. They have made by thinking a lot, like how one could proceed and it would help the person. But I would say that it would be a bit, I would say, confusing if you are doing your MAD2 for the first time. Why is that so? Because if you see till this core requirement, like till this milestone, it's okay. But like from authentication, it's fine. But after that, they are saying like use a API. Like they have wrote what like Python API and Vue.js UI both at one go. That's the thing that I want to ask you to follow. That is because it would be a bit hectic and would be requiring a lot more effort, right? But what I would say over here is that firstly, build your backend, complete the endpoints or the APIs. Right? After that, you go for the front end. I'm not saying you totally finish off the backend, but at least push it till that stage where you can say that yes, at least my basic functionalities are working. Okay, then only you go for your front end, and after the basic connections are made from your front end to your back end, then only proceed for anything that is left. Okay, that is how I would recommend, and I used to recommend since past a number of terms to everyone, and I have seen that it helped. Even it is for myself too. So whenever I was doing my own project, I have felt that doing both, like handling both front end and back end, would be a very hectic. Sorry guys, it's pouring heavily at my place, and I just got a power cut, so I have to change the network. Okay, so the thing I was saying was like make the backend first, then go for the front end. Okay, so as for yourself, you can like change the commit messages and all, and however you are doing it, it's totally up to you. Okay, and even like for a bit, I can show you how to do and stuff. Right, whenever we start coding, I can like show you guys. Please for this. Let's check out the problem statement for vehicle parking app. And okay, let me ask you something. How many people, like, if you could raise your hands for going for the vehicle parking app? I at least 16 people over here. Okay, okay, 11. That's a 10. Okay, chalo, ठीक. So majority are going for vehicle parking. So let's start with vehicle parking app, and then we'll proceed for the next statement. Okay, we are raising hands if you are going for vehicle parking app. Like if you are building vehicle parking app for this stuff. So, ठीक है. Yeah, next step I will just go for hospital management. We'll discuss both the problem statements. Today's agenda is that only. I won't code our word for today. Let's see. I also haven't seen the hospital management app after the term has started. It's the first day. Even myself too, I'm seeing the problem statements. So it would be totally be new to me too. Okay, so let's see. So the vehicle parking management, like vehicle parking app, it's a multi-user app and that manages different parking lots, parking spots, and parked vehicle. As in that this parking app is for four-wheeler parking. Okay. The first things first. If you see the first line, it says that there will be two kind of user. One is an admin user, another one is a normal user who will be using our app, right? Again, the prompt statement that I will be using, I would share it with you guys, but it had three type of user. Okay, admin user, a middle level user, and the lower level user also user or such. But over here, we are having only two. One is a super user, that is the admin user, and the other users are the normal users, right? Who will be using our app. Sorry. Okay, so the frameworks again. One thing I would like uh, add a star or like market to be very important. That is the frameworks that are to be used. Is whatever that is listed over here. You have to mandatorily follow this. You cannot say like, okay, I have used Django, right? And I made the project. That would be not allowed. But you have to use Flask. Now, whatever libraries that you are using in Flask, like sub libraries or the child libraries, right? Basically within the Flask family, it's totally up to you, and you are free to go. Is View 3 allowed? Yes, View 3 would be allowed, and I would be using View 3. Yes, yes. So let's proceed from here. So what it's saying is Flask for API, right? So you mandatorily have to use Flask, right? Now, what all libraries that you are using, they are not worried about that. But you have to, it has to be from the Flask family, right? Next step, it is Vue.js for UI. Again, here they are like okay with something that is you can use Vue.js, and with that you can use Vanilla.js too. That's fine. That's not an issue. Vanilla.js is in the normal JavaScript. That is also possible. If, for example, if you are using or if you are building a for loop using V for, right, so that is Vue for, that is okay. But if you want to use JavaScript for, that is a normal JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, that is also possible. Okay, so that's a point where they are liberal with the front end, and you can do it. But you cannot do like I would be using something as React or some other different uh, framework, right? That's not allowed. Okay, next two bullet points are like the second and the third one are there any simple, are there any style points? Okay, no, it's up to you. They are saying that yes, if you see that Bootstrap for HTML generation and styling, no other CSS framework is allowed. But again, it depends. If you if you could use some other frameworks, but the point is that you have to get it verified from the team before. Like you just write a mail to them that yes, I'm going to use a different approach, be it the normal CSS or Bootstrap, or the other one was the latest one is what was the name? Uh, that start with what was that? Yeah, Tailwind. Yeah, Tailwind. So it depends. So beforehand, you send a mail to the team and state that yes, I want to use Tailwind or such, and get it permitted from them. Okay, and they will permit it. So style for the styling part, they are very liberal and they're okay with good projects. Again, it won't be like I won't ask you to put in a lot more effort for styling, but yes, again, at least for the styling part, they don't have a lot of marks. So after you are done with your done with all the basic functionalities and whatever I would say go for the recommended functionalities after the recommended ones, like after the stated ones, go for the recommended ones. And after that, if you have time, then go for styling. Like spend a lot more time on styling. Okay, not before that. So as I was saying, is like for the second and third bullet point, Vue.js for UI and Vue.js advanced with CLI. Okay, so over here they are like stating that you can use Vue.js in two ways. One is the CDN way, another one is the CLI way, right? So what's CDN and CLI? I would ask you to just revisit the lectures and you can get the idea, right? But what we will be doing is I will be using CLI, Vue CLI. Like I like basically I would create the front end with the CLI method. Okay. And why is that so? Because I have seen multiple occurrences where a smaller bug can eat up a whole day, at least for the front end. Okay. And it would be the silliest and the simplest bug that you can find. Like I have faced that. Like one of my mentee was like it was just before the submission day. Oh no, it was the submission day only, and she somehow got a bug. Right, at least spent what 3 to 4 hours just to find out that it was a simple, like the most simplest bug one could think about. Right, and it was not readily like not readily visible. That is because of the CDN. Okay, CDN way. Again, I won't say that CDN is a bad way to proceed, but again, if you are familiar with the library and stuff or the framework, then it is fine. Then you can get an idea that yes, this could be the possible reasons for this kind of a error, right? So just to overcome that, we'll be using CLI because at least I could have a backend, like backend as in a terminal that would be running out the front end, right? And on that terminal, I can see the errors, see the what mm, instructions on stuff, right? That or else at least the intimations that yes, this could be uh, a fallout case or something like that. Okay, so that's why we'll be using CLI again. It won't be a huge difference, but majorly it would be same. Majorly as in the folder structures and stuff, right? It would be same, but somewhat it would be different, and I could explain you that. Okay, so this is a recommendation from my side. Go for CLI. Okay. Next step is Ginger to template if you're using CDN only for the entry part. Okay. So Ginger to templating is not allowed in MAD2. Ginger to templating, as in, if you remember from your MAD1 days, what you used to do is you used to create a HTML file, and the HTML files are static, right? Now we used to do that double curly braces, then the, curly bracket, then we used to do that percentage wala symbol just to add more functionalities, right? So what were those? Those were Ginger 2, right? Now that is not allowed in Add 2. You cannot use Ginger 2, but Ginger 2 is only will be allowed if you are using CDN, and it will be only be allowed for only a single HTML file, that is for the index.html file or the base in HTML file for the front end. Okay, I can tell you more whenever we are like going for at least we are starting off with our front end. At or till then, just consider it that we could use it only for our base HTML page. Else, we can use Ginger to template whenever we are sending the emails. Okay, we'll be coming to that in a moment, like whenever we are seeing the requirement for daily reminder. So there are two places for Ginger to, else nowhere to go. Next step is for the styling, that is Bootstrap for HTML, and someone asked that if any other framework is allowed or not. It's on the discretion of the team, so you just have to mail it to the team and get permitted from them. Okay. Then for the database, you have to materially use SQLite. You cannot go for MongoDB or Postgres. That's not allowed. You have to use SQLite. And finally, for caching and for the batch jobs or the uh, scheduled jobs, you have to mandatorily have to use Reddit for your storage purposes, right? So you can store your cache data as a normal basic file or something like it, or any other way that's possible, but you have to use Redis, okay, the in-memory storage. And the same applies for the batch jobs. So the batch jobs needs some storage that is to be spared out. So just for it to function correctly. So for that again we have to use Redis. And finally, as you can see, all demos should be possible on your local machine. So whatever wherever you are building your project, it should be like you should be able to present it during the vivas. Okay. For this note, I would add one more thing. That is, whenever you are building your backend, right, I would recommend to use a virtual environment. That's a good option. Okay, and that's a good practice that I would say, and it would be appreciated whenever you are going for your vivas. Okay, I'm like most of the people, like I'm not saying most, but majority of the people in your MAD1 project, they might not have used a virtual environment, and that was fine because you were using only two Python libraries. That is Flask, another one is Flask SQL Alchemy, and it would be like using those two libraries. One could be done with their MAD1 project. Now, at least for your MAD2 project, you will be like uh, uh, at least for the major libraries, there could be something around 20 different libraries. And for those 20 different libraries, they need some other smaller or other different libraries, different than those 20 to function. For example, Flask. Flask is like requiring other uh, uh, smaller libraries, right? Similarly, all for all 20, it could result up to around 60 or something libraries, n number of libraries, and everything will be different from each other. So just to handle it and just to manage it, it is recommended to use a virtual environment. And I would say, whenever like if you are uh, considering me, I would always recommend to use a virtual environment. Okay. I would ask you to use a virtual environment. I won't recommend, but ask you to use one. No, I would say Docker at least for all, like not at all. But if you are aware of the like how it works and functionalities, then it's fine. Then you can go for Docker. Else, no, no. And this is till this point, it's okay. I didn't say anything. You cannot quote me on that. Okay. So the roles, as you can see, that we are having two roles. So the admin and the user, right? So the admin is a super user for your app. There can be only one admin. Okay. So here are some of the or a few requirements in the prompt statements that you have to mandatorily follow, and you should add the checks, right? Checks as in whenever you are building your backend or be it your front end. Basically, in your app, you should have this checks. That is, if you see the second bullet point, there can only be one admin for your app at like whenever you are going for your Viva 2 or Viva 1, right? So they will be asking or you like they will be checking your app on this kind of checks. Like, can a newer admin stay in your app, right? A newer admin could be registered for in your app and similar kind of a thing, right? So this all small minute details you should be adding those checks, right? It's like adding what uh, 4 or 5 maximum 5 lines of code just to check just to make this second bullet point happen, right? There can only be one admin ad for your ad. So similar thing, right? So you have to like go through the prompt statement thoroughly and create a bullet point or at least a checkpoint checklist for yourself, right? For every and each bullet point, if you like whatever that you feel like it's important, and mark it and check it whenever you are done with that. It's a good practice to do, right? If you want, you can use Jira and stuff, right? The services, those are again free, and it would, anyways, it would help you whenever you are going for your degree level. Right? So Yes, you can like use that Kanban board from Jira, create like consider yourself to be a team, right? You are a backend developer, you are the tester, you are the front end developer, you are the manager for your project, you are the what other roles one could think about? Okay, the project manager, then the what the project handler, and what other roles one is there in the project team, right? Consider yourself to be that and function like that. Okay, chalo. Admin can create a new parking lot again. One thing that I want to add over here, they didn't mention it over here, but they might have used it in here. That is, you can see that a login and register form with field like username, password, etc. for user and a login form for admin. The application should have only one admin identified by his role. No, they didn't have mentioned it over here. But what am I going to say is like when like for your admin user will be registered whenever the app is started for the first time or whenever the backend is initialized for the first time, right? So you make your app in that way. The like whenever I'm creating the database, it would just go ahead and check if the database is empty. Then it would create the admin user. Okay, so it would be a easier way to do. And previously they used to mention it in the problem statement that use it in that way. No worries, but one that could be done, and even I could show you that. Next step, admin can create a parking lot. Each parking lot can have any number of parking spots for four-wheeler parking, and each parking lot can have a different price. That's okay. So there is a parking lot, and in the parking lot, there could be n number of cars that is parked. Again, that n should be clarified beforehand, right? And the each parking lot can have a different price. Different price as in parking lot A could have 40 per hour and parking lot B could have 100 per hour. That is fine. And again, parking lot A is situated at, consider this, at IITM campus, and parking lot B is situated at Gindi metro station. Okay, two different places. Each parking lot can have different price. Admin can view status of all available parking spot on his or her dashboard. Admin can edit, delete any number of parking lots. That is, admin can increase or decrease the number of parking spots that is inside a parking lot. Okay, so a parking lot can have, for example, the parking lot that is in our ITM campus is having 10 parking spots, right? So totally it's a lot, and in that lot I have 10 spots. Okay, so I can increase from 10 till 15, or from 10 I can decrease it till 5 or something. Okay, so again that could be done, or that can be done by the admin user. Okay, and the normal user, for example, I am the admin for my app, and for example, who was that for example, you guys are using my services. So you all will be, at least in terms of my app, you all will be having the role of a user, right? And I will be the admin. So what are the segments that are open to you, or what are the features that you can access? That is, you can come to my website, you can register yourself. After you are done registering, you can log into my app. Next step, you get from the list of parking lots. For example, I'm currently having two. One is in the ITM campus, and the other one is in the Gindi metro station, right? So out of the two, you can choose any parking lot, right? And you can book a spot. That yes, I can, or I want to park my car in this parking lot. Okay, and after you are done parking your car, you are taking it out from the parking lot. You just use this feature that yes, release or vacate the spot, and it's done. So there are very less number of features that you have to make for you have to make for the user role, but it would be, I don't like, it would be mostly be like handling multiple things. For example, whenever you are choosing a parking lot or whenever you are booking for a parking spot, you have to do multiple checks, right? If the parking spot is empty, if the like I won't say it right away or right now, but whenever we are building our app, I can tell you that. So what the idea that I am trying to convey, like I cannot paint it out right now, but yes, you will be creating less number of features for your user, but there will be more of a kind like multiple doing multiple things at the same time. Okay, so the terminologies to follow is a user is a normal user, that is admin, then that is parking lot is a space, like as I was saying, as I gave the example, it's just parking lot is the total space, and within that space I have parking spots, and out of the parking spots I can have reserved parking spots, like where, like for example, Arun is right now using a parking spot, so it would be designated as reserved parking spot. Okay, okay. Now the thing is that if you see on my screen you are saying three things, right? Parking lot, parking spot, and reserved parking spot. Okay, and those are the ideas that are being provided to you, at least to make the database tables, right? They have specified the column names and stuff. Now, what I am saying is, if you are okay with this, if you go through this and think of it as your own app, okay. If this columns and all are fine for you, then it's okay. You just go ahead and create a app like Hubahu, like whatever that is over here. You just go ahead and use it. That's fine. That is also accepted. But you are building your own app, your own idea. I won't ask you or I won't tell you to follow this. Okay. So it's totally up to you, your brain child, right? How you are building the features. For example, one could think of like I can have the parking lots, but to store the data, I can have two tables, right? For example, one table is having the huge number of details that I have to maintain, and another table could be having the for example, I break it, I break this up in the parking lot or thing into two or more tables. That is fine, that is accepted. Again, it's my brain cell, I can make it in my way. Like it's, again, consider this, you are following your problem statements, but that doesn't say that, or that doesn't specify that yes, you have to make it how the problem statement says, but consider the problem statements to be a guiding document. Okay, where and what to be done. Okay, now how is that is to be done is totally up to you. What, like, getting what I'm trying to convey over here, or what I'm trying to say, right? So it's totally up to you, your app, your policies, you built it, and how you built it is totally fine, until and unless you follow the list of uh, like allowed frameworks and you are fulfilling the requirements, right? Then it's fine. Okay, it doesn't needs to be totally same as how it's shown in the problem statement, but this is a guiding document. Okay, you can use it, you can not use it, it's totally fine. So what they're saying is like ID, prime location, name, price, address, pin code, number of spots, etc., etc. Okay. Then there is the parking spot within a parking lot. As I was saying, it could be parking spots, and one parking spot could be, like if one parking spot is being used, it would be added to, as per the prompt statement, it could be added to a reserved parking spot. Okay. So over here, think of it in this way. It's a different table, and if you see, it's using the spot ID and the user ID, those two foreign keys, just to, just to signify that yes, this parking spot is used by whom, and as this parking spot is added to this table, so I can say that this is being used, right? Okay, again, it's totally up to you, so however you want to build it, that's fine. You can get some ideas from this app, that is Secure Parking, and you can use the wireframe just to visualize how your app could look like. Again, as I'm saying, you do not have to mandatorily follow this wireframe, but it's again just for you, like just to get some ideas from, right? Next step is the core functionalities as per the admin login and user login. So what you have to do is your user a, a a user which is like who is having a normal user role, that is whoever other than the admin user, any user that is coming to your app, they can register themselves and log in, but that is not allowed for admin user, right? So admin user cannot be registered using a form or something, or anything for that matter. But whenever you are like creating your database for the first time or booting your app for the first time, it should be added automatically, okay, at least from the backend. Or else you can have something like you can use a terminal to add the admin user, so that there is no such access, at least from the front end side, right? Or at least from the end user's perspective, that one user could register themselves, admin user, okay. Next step, they are specifying that you can either use flash security or JWT based token, like JWT based token based authentication to implement role based access control. So there are two things: authentication and authorization. Okay. So just to make or just to add both to your app, you can either use flash security or JWT. Okay. If you are going for flash security, again, go for the latest library. Else, if you are going for JWT based token option, then go for Flask JWT extended. Okay, both are accepted and both are fine. You can use any. Okay. Next step is app must have suitable models to store and differentiate all type of users. Okay, how you're storing the user details and stuff is totally up to you. One more thing over here I want to add is, like, most of the people, they ask me, do we have to hash the password whenever you're storing it, or do you have to sort the password whenever you're storing it? I would say if you could, if you are able to do it, then it's fine. Else, that is also okay. Okay, if you're not hashing the password. But again, whenever you are like building your app, or at least building this portion of your app, it would, like, you can see that it's not a huge thing to be done. It's very easy to. And there is one more thing that I want to say is, I cannot like point it out that yes, either you use flash security or you use JWT. It's again up to you. Okay, I cannot like point it out because it depends on how one like feels with one kind of a way. Okay, be it the flash security way or the JWT. It's totally up to you. You have to like give it a try for both, or at least have a look for both. Okay. And next step is the admin dashboard. This is only allowed for the admin. Okay. One thing that I mentioned is authentication and authorization. Okay. Here comes the thing. Whenever you are building your front end, be it your backend endpoints, okay, you should be on every level, be it any endpoint. For example, you are having 10 endpoints. Okay. Out of the 10, there will be two endpoints. One is register and another one is login, right? Other than that, the other 8 should be protected, because those 8 are, I'm considering those 8 to be inside your backend, like inside your app. Inside your app, as in, it's it can be accessed after one user could have logged in. Okay. So for all endpoints, you have to protect those. And to protect those, one should be authenticated. And again, after authentication is done, the second level is that after the 8 APIs, consider that 5 are dedicated for an admin user. For example, for creating a parking lot, editing a parking lot, deleting a parking lot, or parking spot, or something similar, right? Those cannot be accessed by a normal user, right? That couldn't be a condition. In that case, you have to add the authorization. So what Finally, we have to do for each endpoint, other than the intentionally opened endpoints, be it the login register or any index endpoint that is like sending out or giving out generic data, that for each endpoint we have to authenticate the user, and then after authentication is done, we will check if the user is having that authorization to access the endpoint. Okay, one kind of a user is having the authorization to access that specific endpoint, and the similar thing has to be done from the front end side too. For example, after the index page or the base page, right? Base page as in if you go to the Google search page, the landing page basically, that is allowed for everyone, whoever has logged in or not. Next thing, I like I took a very wrong example, but that's fine. Uh, for example, Google has majority as unauthenticated dollar thing, like unauthenticated dollar thing, as in you can search, you can use the Google search engine to search, right? But now, if you want to access the Gmail or the Google Drive, right? In that case, you have to log in, right? So those endpoints should have been should have been protected both in terms of authentication and authorization. Next thing is those were for backend. Now for front end, you have to do the same thing. It cannot be like, okay, your backend endpoint is not responding, but your front end pages are being rendered out for, like, admin pages are being rendered out for a normal user. That is not, that shouldn't be the case. Or for example, a admin page is accessed by unauthorized or unauthenticated user. That's also not being, that also shouldn't be done, right? So you have to protect both, like add both in the backend and the front end, authentication and authorization, both the things. We'll be checking those out, but yes, that you have to be done. Do you have to do that? The admin should be added whenever a new database is created. Okay, they have mentioned it over here. Next thing, admin creates, edit, deletes a parking lot. Note, delete only if all parking spots are empty in the parking lot. Okay, consider this. What we are saying. If you got it, then it's fine. Else, consider the example. In the ITM parking lot, there is 10 parking spots, right? And two are being used as of now. Now, uh, due to some company considerations, we are closing down the parking lot. That is, we are stopping the, or we are just totally be shutting down the services of parking lot in the ITM campus. Okay, so I cannot say that okay, the two cars are being parked, two of the professor have parked their cars, and now I'm just closing it down. So where will the car go? So that is what we are seeing is, if a parking lot is being deleted or is being taken out from the uh, current availabilities. So what we have to do is we have to check if all the parking spots within that parking lot are empty or not. Okay, then only you can do it. There is one more thing that I want to mention over here. Like whenever I will be building the APIs, and I guess in next to next day, I'll just show you this. That is, use the concept of soft delete. That's a good thing to do, a good practice to do. I won't say very nice, but what I felt is like, uh, that's a that's a I would say, uh, what, that's a thing followed by multiple apps. Okay, soft delete. I would come to this in a later stage, more into this in a later stage. But as of now, using soft delete is a good thing. Next thing is the admin cannot add each parking spot individually. The number of parking spot will be created based on the maximum number of parking spots in a lot. So what are they saying? Consider this. I'm having two parking spots as of now at the IITM campus, and I will be coming to the soft delete wala thing whenever I will be building the APIs. Okay. So yeah. So over here, what are we saying? Okay. Parking spots cannot be individually be created. For example, what we are saying is, as of now, I am having two parking spots, one in IITM campus and another one in Ginty metro station. Now, what am I saying is, I would be creating one more parking spot at Nandana metro station. Okay, over there, uh, I'm creating a parking lot, yeah, a parking lot, and I thought that I will be after consideration of the area, I can accommodate 15 cars, right? 15 cars at a time. So 15 cars as in the 15 parking spots. So I cannot just go ahead and create the parking spots manually. That this is parking spot one, this is parking spot two, in terms of my app. Okay, parking spot three, and that way parking spot 15. Rather, what I would do is whenever I am creating or whenever in terms of the CRUD operation, whenever I am adding a new parking spot, I would specify that there will be 15 parking lots. Okay, sorry, within that parking lot, I will be having 15 parking spots. Okay, now what it will do, you just have to run a for loop and add each parking spot in the parking spot wala table, right? So it should be done with the for loop, not like you have to manually go ahead and add like add it by yourself. Uh, yeah, just one second. Yes. Okay. Uh, so you have to use a for loop or any kind of loop or any other way that you could think of. Okay, you can, for example, you can use a backend job to do it. That's fine. That's totally up to you how you're doing it, but you cannot manually create it. So this is what they are saying. Next step is admin can view the status of parking spots and check the park vehicle details if the parking spot is being occupied. Okay, so whenever, for example, what we are saying is whenever a user is trying to park a car, so the car details should be added or should be captured whenever a user is being registered. Okay, or at least give the option to the user that he can add cars. Okay, it's not like one user is having a single car, right? At least today's day, one person can have multiple cars. So give that option. Okay, in your user side, that a car could be added by him. Okay, or by them. Now, whenever the car is being added, you capture the details like the registration number and what the car model is, what's the color, right? The all those details should be captured. Now, whenever the user is, for example, uh, over here, we can take an example. For example, uh, in my app, Arun is using, uh, Arun is an user to my app. Okay. Another thing is that he has parked a car in the Nandanam metro station parking lot. Okay. Now, whenever he is using a parking spot, how, for example, I'm the admin user and I want to see this parking spot detail, that specific parking spot detail. So, what I would be expected to be shown, at least in terms of my app, that is, whenever I click on that parking spot, or at least in my dashboard, I want to see that yes, parking lot that is in the Nandanam metro station, and from that parking spot 15 or parking spot 14 is being used by Arun Saxena. He is having a Honda Civic that is being registered with the registration number of TN01CV 121241. Okay, and he is having a white color Civic. Okay, this all details should be shown in the dashboard, or at least whenever the user or whenever the admin is trying to see. And how is that is to be done is like using the foreign keys and stuff, or at least build the relationships. Okay, either you use the foreign keys, or else use or create the relationships. Okay, it's again in terms of the database how you want to design it, but this all functionalities has to be there in your app. Next step, admin can view all the registered user, like admin can monitor all the users in his app. Next step, admin can view the summary charts of the parking lots and spots. Okay, consider it to be the parking lots, how the parking lots are being used, and currently how much the parking lots are being filled. Okay, what's the frequency, what's the return frequency for a user. Okay, those kind of charts. Again, it's totally up to you, whatever analytics that you want to add, and that's fine. Next step is user dashboard. That's for user. User can choose a available parking lot, and allocation is done as per the first available parking spot. Okay. Now let's consider the same example. So Arun is trying to book a parking lot in the Nandanam metro station. Now, as per the serial number, parking starting from parking lot 10, like parking spot 10 till 15. Like I am having total 15 parking spots, but the first 9 are being used. Okay. Now, for example, Arun thought that okay, I would just park my car right in front of the gate. Okay, now that's not possible. So like he cannot specifically choose a parking spot. Rather, whatever that is the next parking spot that is available, he will be assigned that. Okay, so parking spot 10 is available. So what would be done is Arun, wherever Arun is trying to book a parking spot in the Nandanam metro station parking lot, he will be allocated parking spot number 10. Okay, he cannot choose it by himself. That's a requirement. They want it, so we have to make it. Next step is user changes the status of the parking spot to occupied once the vehicle is being parked. Okay, consider this over here. You have like they have allowed you to make it as per yourself. Okay, so what am I trying to say is that consider this, whatever status change that is to be done, it's totally up to you how you're doing. Okay, they have made it flexible. Consider this. So what Arun is doing, Arun is for example, he's staying someplace between Nandanam and Tinapet metro station. Okay, and he found that okay, Tinapet metro station. Okay, and he thought that okay, Nandanam metro station is near to me, and I can park my car over there, and I can take the metro to go to the airport. Okay, or to the central, anything. Another thing is that whenever Arun was at his home in the early morning, he thought that okay, I would be using that parking lot. Okay, now just to save a spot for himself, what he did, he came to our website, clicked on what reserve. Okay, now the status has been changed. So the parking spot has been allocated to him. That whenever Arun comes to my parking lot, he will be like he can park his car at parking spot 11. Okay. Now the status for that specific spot is being changed to reserved. Okay, not being occupied until and unless Arun show up. His parking status or the spot status will be set as reserved. Okay, reserved, or for example, if he has made the payment. Okay, think of it in that way. He has made the payment, so I am keeping it to be reserved. That I won't be allowing or won't be giving it out to a different user. But Arun thought that okay, I am not very sure that I will be going to Nandana metro station or Tinapeta metro station. Okay, now what I did, he just booked it. Okay, he haven't reserved it, but he has booked it, and I have given him a time frame that you have to be there by 10 o'clock, or at least you have to pay the amount by 10 o'clock, at least the reservation amount. Then only I would keep the parking spot. Else, I'll release the parking spot. Okay. So, what two status are there? One is booking, like one is booked, another one is reserved. Then whenever Arun is coming to park his car, I would change the parking spot status from reserved or booked to occupied. Right. Next step, I would be having what? I would be having the release status. And this way you can create multiple status. Okay. So make your app more interactive, add more features to your app. Okay. It's your app. How you are designing is your it's totally up to you. Your policies, how you mend it is up to you. So, I'm like, why did I give this example? Just to show it out that yes, you can play with it. Like, add multiple things. Use your uh, what am I saying is use your imagination to think of it. Okay, it's nothing like yes, you have to like you are like you have seen like I'm not saying this in a bad way, or I'm not trying to insult anyone, but have you seen a horse? Like he is being directed on a single side. I forgot the thing, but it's a patch kind of a thing, and his eyes have been covered, and he one horse can see the only the front side, so he cannot go. And the blinkers, he cannot, like the horse cannot go in the sides, or he cannot see out of the way, right? So that is what we want to break it over here, right? And I will always be there to help you overcome any error, be it from the problem statement, be it not from the problem statement. I will be there. So use it. Okay, make your app a bit more, like bit more from the problem statement, not like whatever the problem statement says I will just go ahead and create that. No, that's okay, that's the usual thing. That's, I guess currently there are almost thousand, more than 1,000 people who are being registered right this term, at least for the MAD2 project. And if everyone does the same thing, will there be anything that will be spotting you out from the pool? No, right? Until and unless you add your own effort, add your own ideas to it. Okay. So that's a good thing. You will be appreciated in level 2 if you add features by yourself, or mend the feature by yourself. Okay. Next step is the timestamp that is recorded in between the parking in and parking out. Okay, this is again up to you how you are adding that. For example, if you are creating it in this way, that I will be using slots, that each like 4 hour slot. For example, Arun, uh, like instead of booking and reservation and stuff, he just he just came in with his car and he wanted a parking spot. And for example, or else consider the previous example where he is trying to park his car from 10 o'clock. Okay, and we are providing slots. For each slot of 4 hours, we will be charging what, 50 rupees. So until and unless he is taking his car out by 2 o'clock, he will be charged only 50. Whenever the time is being changed from 2 o'clock, after that 2:01, okay, starting that time, he will be charged 100 because he is using the second slot. If you have seen that in the in the mall parking, at least for the first half an hour, it could be free. Next 3 hours will be 100 rupees, and from each hour onwards, that it could be what, 50 rupees. You have seen that. You might have seen that in airport, that at least for the first 1 hour, it's like 300 rupees. After that, it's like each hour, it's like 50 rupees, something like that. You can do it, or else you can make it totally be a dynamic thing, that for each minute of parking I will be charging you 2 rupees. So for 1 hour it's like 120, or something different. For example, for each minute of using my parking spot, you will be charged half a half a rupees. Okay, so for 1 hour it's like 60, sorry, 30. Now, for n number of time, for example, he is parking his car for what, 91 minutes. So I can bill him on that 91 minutes. So 91 divided by zero point 0.5, it, multiplied by zero point 0.5. So it's becoming something like 45.5. Okay. So it'd be charged how much? 45.5. It's again, it totally depends on how you are making your app. So they have kept it a bit. Sir, can we make like minimum charges would be same for 1 hour? Yeah, same as 1 hour charge. Yeah, of course, it's totally up to you. So whenever, like, that could be another situation, that if you are using a parking spot, then you have to use it for at least for 2 hours. You can take out your car before that, but you have to pay me 2 hours. That is what you are saying. It's totally up to you. Your app, your child, whatever, however you want to make it or however you want to design it, it's okay. And it will be welcomed in level 2. I'm promising you that. Chalo. Next thing, so the summary chart for his parking. Okay, so whenever a user is using the parking, using our app to park his or our car, you can like use the analytics from there. Now over here, soft delete would be helpful. I'd be showcasing the soft delete thing. Then there is a note that database must be created programmatically via table creation or database or model code, or through cell. Manual database creation, such as using DB browser for SQLite, is being not allowed. So if you have made your SQLite, or like made your database, or have designed your database using DB browser, in case of MAD1, that was accepted, but in MAD2 that's being not allowed. So what you can do is you can use the models. So as per the ORM, we used to design the models, right? It's just to connect our backend, at least for our Flask APIs or the endpoints, to the database. We used to, in between, we used to create the models, right? From the models, we can generate the database. Like it's like, consider this flow. I have three objects with me on site. Here is the database, here is the ORM, and here is the API, right? So this is the corrected thing. Okay. Now what am I saying? Instead, I don't have the database as of now, but I have the models and I have the APIs. So what can I do is, like, I can use the models to create the database. Okay. That's the thing. Else you use the SQLite terminal to create the models, or create the database from there, right? Or any other way to be done. That's okay, but not like using the data DB browser. Next thing is the backend jobs, daily reminder. So there are three scheduled jobs, three salary jobs that has to be made, or backend jobs, in other words, that has to be made. Out of those three, two are on a scheduled manner. So you have to schedule it, and at the specific time it will be triggered. Okay. For the daily reminder, consider this: you are using Swiggy or Zomato. Currently, it was Dasera, right? And at a specific time, you might be getting notifications that yes, it's the time to have some prasad and all. So buy something from us. Or if you are using Blinkit, it's like at the earliest hour. Like I myself have seen it in the past 2 days, like yesterday and day before yesterday. Whenever it was the time of offering puja, Blinkit was sending me notifications that yes, if you are out of your puja supplies, just make an order from me. Okay. So what are those? Those are reminders, notification, push notification. In other words, but like in a higher level overview, you can think of it like the reminders. You are trying to attract your user back to your app, right? That is the same thing that is done over here. What we are saying is send out reminders either using webhook, like either using Google Chat, webhooks, or SMS or email, right? You can use anything to send the reminder, but you have to send the reminder at a specific point of time, be it in the morning hour, for example 6 o'clock. Okay, you're sending out the reminder that yes, guys, which is the easiest to implement. Easiest will be the email thing, because SMS requires you to have a paid service. I haven't seen any free service, at least in terms of India. I haven't seen anything as free. Okay, you at least have to pay a base amount. So SMS wala option is out of my scope. Okay, webhooks is okay. You can like it's being taught in your theory course. You can use it, but some of a few of the times you can find some bugs. Okay, so that's why email would be the best featured option, at least whenever whoever is doing your MAD1 project for the first time. So what I was saying is 6 o'clock you are sending out an email to either to all the users or to a specific set of users. Okay, that yes, please use the service, because you might have used the random metro parking lot and we have a price drop. Okay, for example. So either you are sending that reminder out to all the users, or else to the users who have previously used the Nandanam metro parking lot, because you are seeing that there is a drastic drop in the parking like use of that specific parking lot. So what you are saying, so whoever has previously been used, you are offering out a coupon code to them that please use this parking lot to get some extra discount. Okay, something like that. So what are they saying? Like, for example, if they, in the first sub point, they are saying that check if a user has visited or parking lot is created by admin user. So what are they saying? That, for example, you can have a check that if the user or if a user have visited us as in our app in the last 24 hours or something, or last 20 hours. If that person has visited our app, in that case, I won't be sending out a reminder because he is continuously using our app, on a daily basis. So it's fine. Okay. If not, for example, you can see Sumesa. Sumesa didn't came to our app in the past 24 hours. So I'll be sending a mail to Sumesa that please use our app. Okay. We have some new parking spots that you can use, or you can keep your car, right? Or at least send a different kind of email. For example, a blog post. Okay, just to remind her that yes, this is our app. Like somehow I need to grab the attention for that specific user. Okay. Either the user has not visited or a new parking lot has been created. For example, a new parking spot has been created, and that could be useful for all the users. Okay. So in that case, I would just send out the reminder for all users. Okay. In the second sub point, what are they saying? If yes, then send the alert asking them to book a parking spot if required by them. Okay, something like that, just to send a reminder. Okay. Next step is the third point. The reminder can be sent in evening every day. Student can choose a time. Okay, so it's up to you, but it should be on a daily basis. Okay. So what they want is a job that should be running on a daily basis, and the time that you choose is up to you. Next step is the monthly activity report. It's the same thing as for the daily reminder. You have to do some checks and stuff, but on a monthly basis, once a month. Okay. So what you have to do, if you see, the activity report can include parking spots booked per month, most used parking lot by a user, amount spent on on parking for a month, or any relevant information for the to the user. Okay, whatever analytics that you can build. Okay, so what you can do is, for example, Arun is I can show him a chart or something, or at least I can write down a statement. Okay, as for the analytics that he has used our Nandanam parking metro Nandanam metro parking lot 10 times. So you have like you have mostly used our that specific parking lot. And the next one could be you have used our lease parking spot, that is like parking lot that is in IITM campus. Okay. You can show him that. That's a generic thing. Okay, activity report. And he has spent almost 1500 rupees with us this month. Okay. Those kind of analytics. Okay, just simple things. Next step, you can see that devise a monthly report for user created using HTML and sent via mail. Over here, you can use Ginger too. If you are not sure to use Vue.js or JS, at least for this monthly report, then you can use Ginger too. Ginger 2 is okay. Ginger 2 is fine. Okay, keep it simple. Then that is possible. Okay. Next step, next sub point. What are they saying? For the monthly report to be sent out, start a job on the first day of every month. Create a report using the above parameters. Send it as an email. Okay. So what is to be done is in the earlier days of each month, you should trigger this job, and for whenever the job is being executed for each user, a report is being created, added to the HTML template, attach the template to the email, and send it out to the user. Okay. So in this case, at least for the daily reminder, you had that option for Google Chat or SMS or email. But for a monthly activity report, you have to specifically send an email. Okay, and attach the email, HTML to it. Else, if you see the recommended functionalities, you can add a PDF. Okay. Next and the last thing is user triggered async job. Again, you are like previous two are being triggered as per whenever the specific time is being reached. Okay. At that specific time, the server will run those tasks automatically. You have configured it and it would run automatically. Next thing, sorry, I had a bad cold this time. Sharing the link for videos, like uh, okay, let me check. Else, the theory course videos, just give an overview, or at least the screencast videos over there. Which was the professor? I forgot his name. Uh, you can find the screencast videos. It's like on a weekly basis. There could be one or two videos each week. You can use that to refresh the memory. Else, in YouTube, you can find. I don't remember a name, specific YouTube channel name, but you can like find some playlists. Okay, you can use that. User triggered a sync job. Let the last thing, that is whenever the user, that is specifically the admin user over here, I guess, devices CSV format for a parking spot user used by user till date. Okay, this is for again for the user only. Whenever the user clicks on a visualize this in terms of the app, the user comes to our app and he sees that click over here to get all the parking spot details that you have used in a CSV format. Okay, he clicks on a button and he expects, or they expect that they will be getting a CSV back. Okay, now in terms of your backend, what how you are doing it is you are triggering a backend job, and the next step is you are creating the CSV and stuff and sending it out to the user. Now you might say, or you might ask, why you are using a user triggered async job. You could have used a API to perform the same thing. For example, you scale your app, okay, and it's like on thousands of users, right? Now at the same time, for example, your server can handle uh, uh, for example 50 requests at the same time, okay. Now consider this, you are on thousands, 10,000 of user, right? Every time, like you are seeing a uh, uh, simultaneous use of your app by what 300 users at the same time, right? Now out of that 50, whenever other requests are been coming down, for example a login request came down, so how much time will your server take? Few milliseconds to serve down the request, right? But whenever you are creating a CSV file, it could take some time. Yeah, it has to be like it could take some uh, few seconds, for example 1 or 2 seconds. And within that 1 or 2 seconds, for example, if you get 60 requests that came by to create the CSV, your server can handle 50, and you got 60. At that time, 10 out of the 60, 10 might see a failure, right? Or more than that. For example, I'm considering that other requests might have came down. So there would be a drop, right? In that case, your user triggered async job will be helping you out. So it will be creating a queue, right? Again, what am I saying is like saying too much, but these are being asked in the Vivas. You can use this, right? So this exports the CSV file and stuff. You add the details, and finally the last thing is performance and caching. So add caching when required to increase the performance, right? But you are needed to add caching. It's not like you choose if you want to add caching or not, but you have to cache. At least showcase how caching works, right? And I won't be covering this recommended or optional functionalities, but what am I saying is like whenever possible, or be it whenever you are building your app, or after you are done at least with the basic operations, if you want, you can go for the recommended or optional functionalities, right? Okay, let's just cover the last problem statement and we'll be closing this day. Even we have 20 minutes of time. Yes, so that's okay. Mm. So majorly it will be similar to the vehicle parking app, right? You can see that hospital needs efficient system to manage patient doctor appointments and treatments. Currently, many hospitals use manual registers or disconnected software, which makes it difficult to manage records, available scheduling conflicts, and track patient history. So you're required to make an HMS system, that is hospital management system, web application that allows admin, doctor, patients to interact with the system based on their roles. Now, here's the thing. As I was saying, in the vehicle parking app, we had two user, okay, two roles, admin and user. Over here, we are having three: admin, doctor, patient. Right? You can go through the framework. Could be same notes and stuff. Will be same. Any other framework will not be allowed apart from the given above. The database must be created programmatically. Yeah, the same thing. Right? You can go through that, and we'll be focusing majorly on the role. So admin, that is hospital stuff. Admin is pre-existing super user of your app. Like again, the same idea. Okay. Can add, update, delete doctor profile, name, specialization, availability, whatever that is. Can view and manage all the appointments. Can search for patients and doctor by name and specialization. So doctor has been created by admin. Okay. So doctor also cannot be registered by themselves. Okay, but they can log in after the admin registers themselves. So it's like you are running your own hospital. For example, Apollo is running their own hospitals, right? hospital chain. For example, they are running a single hospital, or for example, the IITM campus hospital, right? Over there, the admin user is, for example, they are hiring a new doctor. For example, Doctor X, right? Doctor X is being hired. So, will your app, like, if you do, you want your app to be open to Doctor X? That okay, Doctor X, you can just register yourself. Will that be a good option to choose from? For example, person Y comes down and impersonates Doctor X. Will that be an option? No, right? In the same way, so admin will be creating the user ID for Dr. X, and that will be saved with Dr. X. Now, Dr. X can use that credentials to log into our app, to use it, to access it, right? So that's doctor can log in to view the assigned appointments. Next step is can mark a patient visit as completed and enter diagnosis and treatment notes. Okay. Next step is can view and update patient history, previous diagnosis and prescriptions. So, so doctor can do few jobs, that is uh, mark a appointment to be completed or being uh, happening or something or being live, and add treatment notes, prescribe medicine, enter diagnostics for diagnosis. For example, he has done something and stuff, right? Those can be added. Previous records can be pulled down, okay, for each patient. Next step is the patient can register. Now there could be a number of patients, right? For example, I'm a patient. Like Apollo doesn't know me because I'm a usual person, right? So he Apollo cannot create a credential and give it out to me because there are what 100 crores people in India, right? So it would be like I would be like if I want their service, I would reach out to them. I would register myself onto their website, and then I can log in and use the services, right? That is how patient and doctor will be differentiated in that case. If you take the similar example, so patient can register, log in, and update their profile. That's fine. So I can update that yes, my weight got changed. Right, from 60 kilos I became 80 kilos, or from 100 kilos I became 80 kilos. Right, something like that. Next step is can search for doctor by specialization and availability. Okay, I can show them out if you have seen or if you like considering everyone have faced the COVID scenario, right? And over there we were using the tele doctor wala thing, at least using the uh, online services to book appointments with the doctor, right? In that case, what do you used to see in a dashboard, or visualize the dashboard? Okay, just use your imagination. What you want to see, like I want to see a list of doctors that are available, right? And with their specializations, that yes, he is uh, what a, a medicine doctor, he is a plastic surgeon, he is a orthopedic, he is a cardiologist, right? He's a dentist, something like that. Now out of them, I currently need a cardiologist. Okay, so what I do is just go ahead and book it. Now there could be 20 cardiologists in Apollo. Okay. Now what I want is I want a specific cardiologist, Mr. Dr. X. Okay. I can search by their name. Or for example, I as I gave you the long list of doctors. Okay. So there is cardiologist, there is orthopedic, there is dentist, there is normal physician, medicine, plastic surgeon, and n number of specializations. Out of the specialization, I want the cardiologist. So I have two cardiologists. So whenever I write down the cardiologist, so the list will be getting updated. Only will be showing out the cardiologists, right? So that's one way. And I can show you something like I can show something like what out of those two cardiologists, I can show that cardiologist one is available at my specific time. That is within next 2 hours. Okay, but if I am going for the second cardiologist, I have to wait till the evening. Okay, so that's one way to be done. Next step is can book, reschedule, and cancel an appointment. I can book for cardiologist one, right? Right away, whatever slot he is available. Next step, I can reschedule. Okay, I'm not available. Like I have booked an appointment, but I won't be available because of some other commitments that I forgot. So what I would do, either I can go ahead and cancel that appointment. That okay, sir, I won't be needing the service. Rather, I'm canceling it. I would be coming down back again after some time, and I will just book the appointment. But what if you want that? Okay, I'm not available for this slot. That is from noon till 1. I'm not available, but after 1, I am available. In that case, I can reschedule. Right? If that is empty, that is also a feature that you are giving to your patient. Next step, can view their own appointment history and treatment details. So the previous history analytics that they can see. Key terminologies: admin, doctor, patient, appointment, treatment, department specialization. Okay. So you can think of it in by yourself. Okay. So there could be a table where one user is being attached to the doctor ID. Okay. So what appointment, what time, what are the details? Okay. Like for example, status and all, extra fields could have what were the diagnosis notes, okay, what were the prescribed medicines. Now for example, think of it in a other way. You are having something more uh, from the hospital side. You are like the patient came to you, and they are trying to buy some medicines. Okay, now they are saying that yes, I need what I need parameter. Okay, now y- it's your responsibility, it's the hospital staff's responsibility to verify if that was prescribed by the doctor or not. Okay, it's on prescription medicine, for example. Now that could be verified from here. At least if you want that key, I want it to be seen. Like I, I have to see the treatment table. Okay, that what were the prescription medicine, prescribed medicine by the doctor. Okay, from there, that's added to the treatment table. Next step is the department and specialization. I can create departments: cardiology, then uh, orthopedic, plus like the skin department, right? What other things are there? Multiple things. I also don't know. I don't have a medical background, so yeah, think of it in that way. And other stuff. How you are designing your database is up to you. Totally up to you. As I was saying for the vehicle parking app, it's totally up to you. You are open to play with it. You can have a look for the similar app. You can go through the wireframe to get the ideas, and that's fine. You can see the notes also says that the provided wireframe is intended only to illustrate the application's flow and demonstrate what should appear when a user navigates through the pages. Please consider this only to illustrate. Okay, you do not have to totally replicate it or follow it, as you can see in the next line. Replication of the exact view is not mandatory, but you can do it. That's also possible. But again, it's not mandatory. You can see that students are encouraged to work on their front-end ideas and design while maintaining the application's intended functionalities and flow. It's totally up to you. Next step is the features. You can see admin and user login features will be same. Admin functionalities, you can go through it. Admin dashboard must display total number of doctor, patients, and appointments. Admin should pre-exist in the app. Must be like should be created programmatically. Like you cannot add it through registration or through API call. Next step, admin can add or update doctor patient profile, like update patient profiles, right? Uh, Update or view patient profiles. Basically, they have like that should be more clear. Okay, anyways, admin can view all the upcoming and past appointments. Admin can search for patients and doctors and view their details. Admin can add, edit doctor details such as name, specialization, etc., and also patient info if needed. Admin can remove, blacklist doctor and patient from the system. So you can think of admin that admin can monitor, handle everything for your app. Okay, of your app, be it the patient details, be it the doctor details, be it blacklisting a user, be it blacklisting a doctor, be it checking what was prescribed by the doctor and what other details we can think of your app. Everything could be handled by a admin user. Okay, so he's a super user. Doctor functionalities, doctor dashboard must display the upcoming appointments that yes, Dr. X, you are going to have an appointment by starting noon till 1. Okay. Doctor dashboard must show all the list of patients assigned to the doctor. Like, for example, the patient A wants to be assigned to Dr. X. That's possible. If he wants to book an appointment, he will be assigned to Dr. X, right? In that way, or else if if a person comes to you to your app and he contacts you through to your, through your helpline, and you specifically dedicate that yes, you are more suited for Dr. uh, Z, so he will be assigned to that, right? Like admin can do it. So yeah, Doctor Dashboard must have the option to mark an appointment as completed or cancelled. Right. For example, the doctor came into the appointment and he sees that the patient is not arrived and he is waiting for half an hour or something. So he will just straight ahead go and add it to be cancelled. Or else the patient came in and it was an 1 hour appointment and it was done by half an hour. That's possible, right? The doctor gave the prescribed the medicine, got to know what was the issues, and he prescribed some more tests, right? Now, like the doctor doesn't need to, or the patient doesn't need to wait for next half an hour. They can make it or mark it as complete, or after that it is being automatically marked as auto complete or something. Doctor can provide their availability for the next 7 days. Okay, now as you were saying, like for example, the patient is trying to book a cardiologist. Okay, cardiologist 1 is available in the next 1 hour, but cardiologist 2 is available in the evening, late evening. Okay, so how is that being done? The for each doctor will provide their schedule that yes, I am available in this time frame from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock. I'm available. After that, I'm not available. Another doctor could say that okay, I'm available for the night shift. Like for example, 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock. Okay, at night, I'm available. They can give it out for the next 7 days. Like for example, today on Saturday I'm available for this time frame. On Sunday I'm not available. On Monday I'm not available. On Tuesday I'm available for this all days. Till that I can give it out for Thursday. Till Thursday, right? 7 days. Doctor can update patient treatment history, like provide diagnosis, treatment, and prescriptions. Yeah, of course. Anytime they can update it. Okay. Then patient functionalities. Patient can register and log in themselves on our app. Patient dashboard must display all available specialized in all departments. Patient dashboard must display availability of doctor for the upcoming 7 days. And patient can read doctor profiles. Okay, so whatever that the doctor is like updating, whatever the appointments, like whatever time slot they are available on the time of availability, the same similar in a similar idea or in a similar manner, it would be shown out to the patients that this doctor is available at this time. You can book it, or else you can show that X has the uh, Dr. X did their MBBS from AIMS Delhi. Then he did a specialization in cardiology from some European country, right? Like I'm vague after that. So uh, they can see that whatever specialization and from where did they do and what are the experiences he has and those kind of a thing or she has, right? It must display the upcoming appointments and their statuses that yes, you are going to have your next appointment today at 12 hours. Okay, 12 o'clock. So it must show the past appointment history with the diagnosis and the prescriptions. Okay, that's if someone has completed their appointment, so they can go ahead and from the uh, history page they can find out the what was the prescribed medicines, right? Or at least what was the prescription and what was the tests that are being uh, prescribed, right? So those can be seen. So profile can be edited. For example, the weight wala thing that I have said that yes, I my weight got changed, right? So what is the new weight stuff? Patient can book as well as cancel appointments with doctor. Uh, Cancellation is available for both, as we are discussing that. Yes, I can reschedule or I can cancel. That's possible. Then the backend jobs is similar. The daily reminder wala thing, like you can have something like check if a patient visit is being scheduled. Okay. So for example, you are sending a daily reminder at a at the late evening. Okay. So you can check that tomorrow you are having an appointment. So be available at that specific time. Okay. You can send it out to a patient, or you can send it out to a doctor too. That you are going to have, like you are having 5 appointments that are being filled. So please be available at this time. Okay. Something like that. Then there is the monthly activity report and stuff, like pull out the analytics and whatever details that you can find, add it to a HTML report or a PDF report and send it through a email. Right. Then the user trigger dashing job, it's again similar. That what are they saying, that the details for the treatment can be taken out by the patient till date. So whatever treatments that was done by like was done on the patient. Okay. Or whatever prescriptions that are being prescribed, medicines that are being prescribed, everything could be created or added to a CSV format and can be pulled out. Okay, that's also possible. Again, just to do it, you can use user trigger dashing job. Okay, we'll be seeing that portion. If it could be a bit, I would say, uh, mm, mm, blank portion, like you might, or I cannot see it out, or I cannot give you or paint it as an or like paint the idea how to visualize it. But whenever we are doing, whenever we will be coding, I can give you the exact idea what am I trying to say for the exotic addressing job. As of now, it could be a bit confusing, but that's fine. Next step, they are saying that's performance and caching. So you have to do caching. You do not require, like again, as I said in the vehicle parking app, you do not, and you are not required to cache everything, but you at least have to show that yes, how is the functionality is working. Okay. Acha, they are having some more functionalities for hospital management app. Let's see. Prevent multiple appointments at the same date and time for the same doctor. Okay, you have to do that check, that I cannot book 2 appointments for that specific user, that specific doctor. Like, for example, I am booking an appointment with Dr. X at 12 hours till 1300 hours. Okay. I cannot book another appointment from 1300 hours to 1400 hours. That's not possible. You are done. You're done for the day. You're done with the doctor. Okay. Something like that. Multiple appointments at the same date and time for the same doctor. Like you can book for Dr. Z from 1300 hours to 1400 hours, but you cannot book Dr. X again from 13 to 14, right? Then update appointment status dynamically from booked, completed, and cancel. Okay, so what are they saying? Like whenever a appointment is being made by a patient, okay, so that's being, the status is being changed as booked, okay, or the status is being marked as booked, right? Now, if the doctor is not changing the status, in that case, after that specific time, for example, the slot was from 12 hours to 1300 hours. After 1301 hour, 1301 hour, at that specific time, the status would automatically be changed to completed. Okay, you are done. It cannot be staying as open. Okay. Or if consider a situation, if both the user and doctor doesn't show up, in that case you can mark it as cancel after a specific specified time, right? After 15 minutes you will be automatically be canceling that. Okay. Those things are to be done by you, like get some imagination, get some ideas. Those are very simple. If you think of it from the top level view, or at least from the outside view, you might think like how that is to be done, I'm not sure and stuff, but that's very easy, not very difficult to implement. Okay. Next thing, Admin and patient should be able to search for specialization. Yeah, of course. In the dashboards, you can search by search for a specialization or by doctor name. That's okay. Admin should be able to search patients by name, ID, or contact information. Okay, I can search a patient A by the name A. Okay, if I write A, I can see that. Yes, else I can see it by the ID. For example, patient A is having a patient ID of PT0241. Okay, so whenever I write PT0241, I can see that this is the patient. Okay, for example, his phone number is 98322 98981. Okay, in that case, I can't find that patient because that phone number is unique. Right? Again, it always is not the case to be unique or anything, but yeah, ID would be unique. Name can be similar. For example, uh, I can have the same name with somebody else. I can say the same name. Okay, that's also possible. So that's the thing. Nothing with uniquity or anything, but I can search by those parameters. Store all completed appointment record for each user. So like I cannot like after the appointment is done, I'm not just exhausting the data, but I will be storing the data, right? Next step is include diagnosis, prescription, and doctor notes for each visit. Okay, I can give out the doctor that yes, this patient is having this all records. You can like use this or access it. Right? Allow patients to visit to view their own treatment history. Yeah, of course, anytime. Allow doctors to view the full history of the patient for the informed consultation. Okay, for example, patient A is coming for Dr. X, so Dr. X can see what other records that you have. Okay, what are the doctors that you have seen? Every other prescription with us will be shown to that specific doctor. Lastly, there is the recommended functionalities, recommended and optional functionalities. Again, after you are done with the basic core functionalities, after that you can do this too. Right. As of now, we are done and nothing for today at least. And tomorrow we'll be having our first coding session. And tomorrow we'll be starting off with the basic MAD1 version and changing it to our MAD2 version. Okay. And we'll be starting off with the packet. Any doubt or anything that you want to ask? I know it was a bit boring and I was only speaking the whole time of 2 hours. So please go ahead and if you need to say anything.